What's up, boys and girls? This is Jaegerchere, and we are back with a tier list video this time for the first time ever in the channel. Usually I upload my tier list inside my Discord channel, but this time I decided to make a video about it because people have been asking. So as you can see, we have S plus tier, which is the broken tier, and then S tier, which is top civilization tier, and then tier 1, tier 2, followed by tier 3, which is the wars tier. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning toward the end of these civilizations. So there is no order, so I'll just go one by one on these civilization. So firstly, with the Japanese, I would be placing them in tier S just because of their strength that they have received through their dojos on the current patch. You either take one or two, which is the both dojos. You can just fit it inside your deck. They work amazingly. You can just replace them with your explorers. They're just really amazing. Like, I get the fact that their shrines have been nerfed by 5%, but I can assure you this dojo will just give you a lot more than that. So once again, the Ashigurus are still the Ashigurus, the Naginatas are still the Naginatas. They're still really strong units. You still have those mobile mortars, which you can just kite back and forth, shoot easily with their extra range. It's just overall it's a really aggressive save, and I just love them. And I can tell you, with those dojos, it's just like you can feel your economy is just kind of never ending. You can constantly sustain with those dojos production. Either put them on Naginatas or Ashigurus, either of them works perfectly. And then next we have the Maltese, which sadly I have to just place them here. They are still one of the worst civilization for treaty at the moment, just because of the lack of population inside their army. Like, you have sentinels, 2 pop fire throwers, 2 pop hospitalers, 2 pop. You might say you have cazadors, you have crossbows and pikes, but the problem is, even for those units, they don't train fast enough to just even out for the lack of population that you have during the fight constantly. You literally need your forts, so your units will be training fast enough. Other than that, the other military buildings train rather slow. I mean, artilleries, they train faster compared to regular civ, but other than that, it's just nightmare. Let's just put it like that. Next we have Mexico, which is going to the top, to the broken tier. I guess everyone knows that. Everyone have experience of Mexico so far, post-patch, pre-patch, all the time. They remain the same. The wood trade has been nerfed to 1.25, which isn't that much of a big deal because you still have the Chinocos, you still have your insane economy with the wood trade. You still can do the mine booming after the wood trade is done, and you're forced to gather coin. So I can tell you, Mexico is just a full package with different broken mechanics. It's just a really solid civilization. I cannot just, like, there is no way this civilization can drop a tier without hammering them, just as we had the USA hammer, which we will be reaching to that shortly. And next we have Ottoman here, which gladly they were tier 3 previous patch, and now they have jumped up 1 tier, I would say. So now they are a really nice tier 2 civilization. they're really performing nicely with the fast shipments, so you can just stack the bombards faster. Or if you want to be more aggressive, you want to go with the Spahis, you can do that as well. Since you get the shipments faster, they are really nice cavalry. As I've said all the time, they are the best cavalry in the game. And also you got the Sufi allies, you can stack them 2 times through the shipment. They're really nice with their lancer attack, so that is another good feature. And also everyone knows, I guess, you got the Nizams inside the barracks enabled with 15 build limit, which is amazing. The Janissaries train faster, and also you get the access to your unique grenadier and also a boost gun, which both of them has been buffed. So overall, as I've said before, the Civ is just in a better spot. The coin gather rate also have been buffed by 5%. It's not that much of a big deal, but it is something. Next, we have Portuguese. Well, they were here in tier 2 in the previous patch, but now with the new card that they have received, which you can get the resource trickle with each of your town centers, I would say, I mean, you get fair amount of economy, but at the same time the issue is your units are not performing as they should. So that's why we're just gonna place them in tier 1. So 1 tier they have went up, so overall they get better economy, much better economy. You can boom around 250k score with them. Usually, I mean, 245 to 250 depending on what you do, but you can boom the 10 TC boom with them, which is really nice. But then again, the units are not the best. I mean, the Cazadors they have 40 attack, but then they're really paper, like they die really easily. And then considering how other civilizations right now they have better musketeers, I would say the Portuguese musketeers are kind of one of the worst. Like, there used to be Russian worse than them, but then Russian musketeers, they receive a buff through their card in the current patch. And then also, I mean, by default they're cheaper musketeers, so overall you can also build forts with them. So overall it's just a better package compared to the Portuguese musketeer. And as for their hussars, they're really normal. It's not that strong. You have to take additional card for them, and also for the, I mean, which applies for the halberdiers as well. But then, I mean, you have the musketeers, but usually you don't go for halberdier and musketeer, even though I gave them a try in my previous Portuguese game. So I used both halberdier and musketeer to see which one performs better, which surprisingly the musketeer was doing better. Next, we have the Russians. So they were a tier 3. The Strelets has been buffed, the musketeers has been buffed, the halberdiers has been buffed, the Jaegerchere has been buffed in melee, which is I don't know actually how to feel about it. I usually don't even use the Jaegercheres with Russia, just because I have instant halberdiers, and I would say the Jaegerchere buff wasn't that much of a big deal. I mean, I never reached to that situation where I have to use them, but we'll see about that. But so far I would place them in tier 2 just because of the unit buffs that they have received, but they are like kind of the worst of the tier 2, so just gonna put them toward the end. And also one more thing I have to highlight, they have lost the economy theory on age 1, which you can feel that during the fight and also during the boom. So basically you boom less, and also during the fight your economy is not going up as much as it used to. But then now you have 1000 infinite wood crates, which you can just stack it and then just switch your factory to either coin or food, whatever you need. Usually it's better to put it on coin, because the food gather rate for the settlers is just higher, so it's better to have your settlers gathering food and then just have the factories gather coin. And next we have Lakota. So it was I would say it was S+ tier in the previous patch, but considering the nerfs that they have received on the war chief, so your war chief is not one tapping the artillery units anymore, so it's a 2 to 3 tap on the artilleries right now. And also they have nerfed the North American trade, which is the card which you used to get coin trickle on your bisons and also natural resources. They have reduced the amount of coin trickle that you get through that. So I would just place them here on tier S, because at the end of the day, Lakota units itself are not that great, especially the Wakina. I mean, Rifle Rider is a nice unit, Axe Rider is a nice unit, but then the Wakina unit is just he's like really paper. I mean, even though it's slightly cheaper compared to a regular skirmisher, but they are really paper. So I would say S tier. Tier S is just nice spot for them, considering they still have the fur trade, they still have the North American trade, and you still can just spam the bison. So I would say here is a good spot for them. Next we have Spain. So I would say Spain was S plus on the previous patch. They were really strong and aggressive unit with a really strong economy, but on the current patch they have nerfed the economy theory on them. They also nerfed the range infantry attack card on H4 that they had. So that's just two different nerfs, one on economy, one on military units. So that's why I would just place them here on tier S. Still a decent civ, still really aggressive civ, but then the economy is slightly worse, and also the military, the range infantry units are also performing weaker as well. But then overall, a really solid civ. Next we have Sweden. I've been receiving a lot of complaint about people saying, oh, Sweden is just a really trash tier civ after the patch. Who's gonna play them? Well, I uploaded gameplay with them yesterday, and all I can say, Sweden is still Sweden. You still go with the Caroline, still the same annoying unit composition, still one of the best artilleries in the game, still one of the best hussars in the game. Like, you cannot say this civilization is bad. Like, not at all. I mean, you lost 5 settlers, which is fine because they have slightly buffed the torp mechanics, I would say. So I would still place them in tier S, because you still can boom around above 240k at least. That's the exact word. At least you can hit 240k. And then the military units, as I've said also, it's just nightmare. Like, you still, when you face against Sweden, you're still restricted on not using that much cavalry. You can't really flank them just because of the Caroline. So still the same deadly civ, an annoying civilization, and now even has 5 extra pop for their military units, which is even more annoying to push into them. So again, a deadly civ. Don't mess with them. They are not bad. Stop this nonsense. Thank you. So if I want to place them between all these, I would just stay here. I think Lakota does well. I mean, the full package Lakota does well against Sweden right now. Maybe actually not. Now that the war chief doesn't one tap anymore, I think it's easier to defend with the Carolines, and also you can just mix the Carolines with the giant grenadiers. You can just deny the TPs of Lakota just easily with the giant grenadiers, so you don't even need mortars. So you just make full units and then just roll them over with some Jaeger and just deny the rifle riders as well. It's just a deadly civ, as I said. Next we have Ethiopia, all the way to the top, still the same civ. I mean, I don't feel much has been changed. They have nerfed the infinite mortar card, which is, I mean, it's a slight nerf. I don't complain, it's better than before. At least the shipment doesn't cost, it is not free, so at some point maybe you can expect them to drain, maybe. But still, they have all the Somali age up, the Jesuit age up, the Sudanese age up, so all they still can get all those free infinite native units that they can just spam inside the fight, and then it's just gonna be annoying and annoying and annoying as all the time with their insane building HP. It's just really annoying. So yeah, Ethiopia just gonna be sitting on top there. Is it gonna be better than Mexico? I doubt it. So just gonna leave it right here because Ethiopia has its own weakness, and one of those weaknesses is just splitting them, and they're really slow in responding to the splits because their units are not really fast moving units, so splitting them can cause them so much trouble. And then we have Dutch. They gave them some new cards, but still they're a tier 3 civ. Let me explain why. So they gave them a card which makes the envoys to build barracks, stable, artillery foundry, native embassy. But then the thing is, even with all of these, I don't feel that this is any change. You still need settler to build tower, you still need settler to build walls. So I don't know, I gave that card a couple of tries. It's just, I couldn't feel it. That's all I can say. So, and also one more thing they gave was the trade card, so it converts all the gold to food. But then again, that's also not really practical because Dutch is a civilization that you still need gold all the time. Without gold, your civilization is dead. So basically, when you trade in the middle of the fight, you just have to pull back and then try to hold until your gold recover, and then again try to push in again. So that's why I say it's not really a practical card that they have. I mean, it's not really impactful on their tier. So I would say they're still more or less the same. Not much has been changed. And now we have China. So it's really hard for me to place China between here or here. I think it's gonna be really close between Sweden right now. I would say just place them here because I feel right now they're slightly better than Sweden, even though, don't get me wrong, this is not going to be a one-sided matchup. This is going to be a really hard and close matchup. So again, this is going to be really close, and I'm not really sure which one I should put first. So for now, I'm going to put China in front of Sweden first. And next we have Aztecs. Well, it was a tier 3 civ, now jumped all the way up to tier S civ. Few reasons. Eagle Knights train faster, Coyote Runners train faster, the Otontin Slingers have better combat, and then all of these aside, you still get your Warrior Priest to be more effective inside the community plaza. And then you got the 1000 coin shipment that you had, it's buffed to 1300 coin, and also the shipments arrive faster. So that means you constantly are stacking infinite coin crates, and you're just having settlers gather with the gather rate of 8.0 coin per second from the resource crates. So it's just a really strong and annoying civilization that you have to deal with. Where I would place Aztecs, it's really hard to tell, but I would just, I'm not sure if they can just roll over Sweden, because like, I mean, Sweden you have Karelians, but then Karelians don't do anything against Eagle Runners, so let's just put them here. I would say they're slightly better than Sweden, but then I'm not really sure how the economy will perform because I haven't played Aztec versus Sweden post patch, because I mean obviously Sweden has a really strong economy, but then Aztec doesn't boom high. Aztec is just all about sustain and being annoying. So that's all about it. So regarding that, I guess I'll just place them here because I feel they perform better than Sweden, but then against China they will struggle because of the military pop of China. Is just massive. Chukunu just melt everything that Aztec has. So I guess this is a fair spot. And then USA, our S tier all time, has been hammered to tier 1. That's surprising, I know, but then it is what it is. I think, not gonna lie, I feel Portuguese will do better than USA. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean that's just comes down to a few different factors. I feel Portuguese have better sustain right now compared to USA. They can do the splits against USA, which USA could kind of struggle. They have the Portuguese mortars, which can deny the USA towers easily. You can just push them into their base easily. So that's why I say just gonna leave Portuguese there and USA here the time being. I think that's kind of fair. And then we have British. The Rockets has been buffed, so I'm not really sure if I just move British to tier S. It's just because tier S got so many factors, but then at the same time British has all of those factors, so it's really hard to not just move them up, you know? So I guess I will just place them here just before Sweden, because Sweden is just the same pain as in the ass, same as before against British. So just gonna leave it there because Rockets also has been buffed. You get your access to the drummers through the age up option, which is a really OP unit. So right now the drummers just make every unit inside the game OP, as easy as that. And then next we have French. So French has been receiving some buff. They were S tier, so I'm just gonna still keep them on S tier. They are not S plus, don't get it wrong. So they are a really good S tier civilization. Maybe actually they are better than Spain. Maybe because considering they got the church buff and they got the Bourbonales, they can just stack all of their shipments before 40. So I guess yeah, that's a fair thing to just place them in front of Spain. And then next we have Germany, which again flies all the way to the top just because of the drummers. Yes, you heard it, just because of the drummers. But then I'm just gonna place them here, so it's just the lowest of the broken civ. So the drummers are just an annoying unit you can have in your army, and they will just buff everything's attack speed and movement speed. I mean, don't get it wrong, having movement speed inside the combat is just really good. Like, people underestimate this, but it's actually really good, especially on an artillery unit or on a skirmisher unit, which you want them to position as fast as possible so they will start their DPS. But on top of that, the drummers also reduce the attack speed of the nearby unit, so that just makes them even better. So yeah. And then next we have Hausa. I'm not really sure actually if I should put Hausa on tier S or tier 1, because they have so many limitations, I would say. But then at the same time, there are a decent civilization. So I mean, they can, I would say, easily just deal with Portuguese and USA. So I'm just gonna place them on here. Probably, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would still lose to Sweden, so here would be a fair spot. Just have to give more chance to Hausa and see how they will perform. But then here's the stupid part. So I think Hausa just does really nice against Aztec just because of the My Goddies. But then again, I'm not really sure if I want to put them above Sweden and also above Aztec. I guess for now, we'll just keep them there. Let them sit there because, again, they have their own limitations as well. Yeah, I guess I'll just stick to this for now. I guess I'll just stick to this. I mean, it's also about overall matchups, so I think Aztec has that in his hand at the moment with how annoying they are to fight against all of the civilizations. So yeah, I guess also being here is just is fair. It should be fair. And then next we have Inca. So considering they have the fast shipments right now, I would say they go all the way to here. So they could be better than Lakota, not gonna lie. I mean, it's gonna be a really awkward fight for them to fight against Lakota. Surely on the start fight, they will be dominating really hard. So that's why I'm just gonna leave it there. But then again, Aztec is here. Actually, maybe Aztec is just overrated there. Let me just drop them back a bit. I mean, I would say British just dominate Aztec. Just the Musketeer and the Rangers. So I guess this is fair. I mean, considering Aztec could be a pain in the ass for Sweden, so I guess that will be fair. Now we have tier 3 India, who jumped up all the way to tier S just because of the super fast training Seafoys and also getting access to rockets through the shipment. I mean, don't get it wrong, those rockets are just amazing, and also the siege elephant is just super amazing, super annoying to deal with. So I'm just gonna put India right here, just before British. Actually, I feel this is maybe also might be overrated here, but maybe not. Actually, there are certain strategies that you can apply with Hausa, makes them really scary. So I'm just gonna put them right there. And we have Haudenosaunee, which again at the moment is on top of the list on S+, the broken tier with, I mean, we are talking about no restriction. I mean, all of these are the civilization without any restrictions. So we'll just keep him there. And then at last we have Italy, a really sad civilization at the bottom of the list. Who would have thought Italy will be the worst civilization inside the game? So there you have it, boys and girls. So yeah, boys and girls, this is the tier list. For me, this is just all based on experience that I have inside the game, the matchups that I've played, and also consider this tier list is not based on Andes only. This is based on all the maps. That's why you see Japanese is just there, because you have the fast training units through your Shogun and Daimyo, and also the units through the dojo, they train really fast. So that's another factor. So that's why they are here in front of French and Spain. So just keep all of these in mind. This is just for all maps. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. You're approaching the 2K subscriber. Thank you all for supporting, and make sure if you are not subscribed to do that so we can hit it faster. And until the next video, stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.